Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a tool that has totally changed the game for anyone building things in the cloud. We are talking about Terraform.
So, have you ever been on a project trying to juggle all the different pieces of your cloud setup? You know, the servers, the networks, the databases. If you've been there, you know it can get really complicated really fast.
Honestly, it can feel like you're all trying to build a giant skyscraper. But here's the catch. Everyone has a different set of instructions. One team's on the 10th floor, another's working on the 50th, and nobody is 100% sure the foundation is even right. It's just chaos, it's risky, and let's be real, it's stressful.
But what if you could change all that? What if, before a single virtual brick was laid, you had the master blueprint, a single, clear plan for the entire thing that everyone could see, follow, and agree on? Well, that's the promise we're going to explore today.
Okay, let's get right into it. To really understand why Terraform is such a big deal, you first have to appreciate the problem it solves, the pure chaos of managing modern infrastructure.
It really is a tale of two completely different worlds. On one side, you have the manual way. You know, clicking through web pages, running little scripts here and there. It's slow, it's just begging for human error, and your environments are never quite consistent. Then there's the blueprint way, a process that's automated, that's safe, and that's perfectly repeatable every single time.
And that brings us to the blueprint itself. This is exactly where Terraform comes in. It acts as that digital master plan for your entire infrastructure. At its heart, Terraform is all about this concept called infrastructure as code, or IAC for short. Now, the official definition is right there. But what does that actually mean? It means instead of manually clicking around to build things, you write down what you want in a simple, readable configuration file. You just describe what you want, and Terraform goes and builds it for you. So, here's the most important part. Your code is the blueprint. Those configuration files become the one and only source of truth for what your infrastructure is supposed to look like. No more guessing, no more changes that nobody wrote down. It's all right there in the code.
So how do you actually use this blueprint? Well, that's the beautiful part. Terraform runs on a really clear and powerful three-step workflow.
It's incredibly simple. First, you write. You define all the pieces of your infrastructure, your servers, networks, everything in a configuration file. Second, you plan. Terraform looks at your file, compares it to what you currently have, and tells you exactly what it's going to create, change, or even delete. And third, once you say go, you apply. Terraform just executes that plan and builds it all.
And that plan step? I can't stress this enough. It is so important. This is your safety check. It's the moment where Terraform basically says, okay, based on your blueprint, here's precisely what I'm about to do. You get to see every single change before it happens. No more oops, I deleted the wrong thing moments.
So, now we know what it is and how it works. Let's get to the big question. Why bother? What are the actual real-world benefits of using this blueprint approach? At its core, you have to remember, Terraform was built from the ground up to solve some of the most painful problems with infrastructure, and it does that by giving you a few key advantages.
And these are the big ones. First, Terraform keeps a state file, which is kind of like its memory of your real-world setup, so it always knows what's going on. Second, it automates changes super efficiently because it understands how things connect. It knows to build a network before it tries to put a server inside it. Third, you can create reusable modules. Think of them as pre-made blueprints for common things, which helps keep everything standardized. And finally, because it's all just code, your team can work on it together using tools they already know, like Git. You know, maybe one of the most powerful things about Terraform is that you're not building alone. You're tapping into a huge and really active ecosystem. When we talk about what Terraform can manage, the number of integrations is just, well, it's staggering. We're talking about thousands. Thousands of what they call providers. So provider is basically a plugin that teaches Terraform how to talk to a specific service. Could be a cloud platform, a monitoring tool, whatever. This massive library means Terraform can manage pretty much any service out there that has an API.
And that lets you connect to all the platforms and services your team is probably already using every day. Of course, you've got the big three cloud providers, AWS, Azure, and GCP, but it goes way beyond that. You've got Kubernetes, GitHub, Splunk, the list just goes on and on. Seriously, if you use it, there's a very good chance Terraform can manage it for you. So, to wrap this all up, I want you to think about it this way. Your infrastructure isn't static. It has a story. It evolves, it grows, and it changes
every single day. The only real question left to ask is, are you letting that story happen by accident, or are you the one writing the blueprint?